Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, you're going to do a written retell of the folk tale, Half Chicken. And this is from second grade Journeys, lesson 24. So, for this lesson, you will need a piece of paper and a pencil because at the end of our review, you're going to challenge yourself and answer this question in writing. What happened in the story? Write a retell. And we're going to use the traffic light colors green, yellow, and red. Green means go. Start at the beginning of the story. So you're going to say what happened at the beginning using the sequence word first. And then we're going to slow down and talk about what happened in the middle of the story with the sequence words later and next. And then we're going to stop and we're going to talk about what happened at the end of the story. And you're going to use the sequence word last. So here's your learning target. I can write a retell of the folk tale, Half Chicken, using complete sentences. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at writing a retell of the story? Well, here are your steps to success. I will, number one, say, match, and write the characters and setting. Number two, I will say and match the lesson or moral of the story, what the characters learned. Number three, I will put the retelling pictures in order. Number four, I will say, match, and write the sentences to each picture, saying what happened first, later, next, and last. And then finally, I will check my writing using my writing checklist. Folk tales. What are folk tales? Folk tales are stories that have been told orally from generation to generation. That means if your grandparents told you a story, there's a good chance that their parents and grandparents told them the same story, and that their grandparents and grandparents told them the story, and so on. So the stories of folk tales have been told orally using words from generation to generation. Moral. What does a moral mean? A moral is a lesson about life that a fable teaches. The moral can usually be found at the end of the story. In other words, what did the characters learn? Or what did we learn from the story about life? Characters. What are characters? Characters are the people, animals, or objects in a story. Setting. What is a setting? A setting is where the story takes place. Sequence. What is a sequence? Sequence is the order things happen in a story, saying what happened first, next, and last. You're going to write those sequence words in your retell. And first means the beginning, next may mean the middle, and last may mean the end. So now you're going to retell Half Chicken, and you're going to retell it orally first. So the main characters are, who are the main characters in the story Half Chicken? Say it in a complete sentence. The main characters are, Half Chicken, fire, wind, and water. The setting is, where does the story mostly take place? The setting. The setting is, the setting is Mexico City, in the farmlands outside of Mexico City, and then actually in the city itself. So now we're going to put the pictures in the correct sequence or order, saying what happened first, later, next, and last. First, later, next, and last. So what happened first in the story? Let's go. First, Half Chicken was special because, first, Half Chicken was special because, why was Half Chicken special? Say it out loud. Well, first, Half Chicken was special because he only had one wing, leg, and eye. News about him spread to the swift horses as well as the cows who grazed peacefully. Later, what happened later? Later, Half Chicken decided to go. Later, Half Chicken decided to go. Where did Half Chicken decide to go? Say that out loud. Well, later, Half Chicken decided to go to Mexico City. On his way, he helped unblock the stream, fan the fire so that it blazed, and free the tangled wind. Next, what happened next? Next, Half Chicken arrived at. Where did Half Chicken arrive? Say it out loud. Well, next, Half Chicken arrived at the palace to see the viceroy. I'm sorry, I always say that wrong. The viceroy. The guards tricked him and sent him to the kitchen. Once there, the cook flung him into a pot of water. Last, what happened last? Last, the water put out. What did the water do to help Half Chicken? Last, the water put out. Well, last, the water put out the fire on the stove. Then the cook flung the chicken out the window. As he was tumbling in the air, the wind blew him to the safety of the rooftop. So, what did Half Chicken learn? What was the lesson or moral of the story? In the end, Half Chicken learned that. What did Half Chicken learn? Well, in the end, Half Chicken learned that helping others can help you too. If you help others, chances are they will help you back. All right, we've reviewed the story by retelling it out loud. Now it's your turn. It's the end of our review. It's your turn to get your piece of paper and pencil, and you're going to answer the question, what happened in the story? Write a retell. And again, we're going to use our colors green, yellow, and red, our traffic light colors to symbolize what happened or signal what happened at the beginning or the start of the story first. Then we're going to slow down and talk about what happened in the middle of the story using the words later and next. And then we're going to stop and talk about what happened at the end or the finish of line of the story last. I want to remind you that you need to say each sentence out loud before you write it and use your writing checklist. Make sure you use finger spaces between your words. Make sure you use punctuation at the end of each of your sentences, periods, exclamation marks, etc. Make sure you use uppercase letters at the beginning of each of your four sentences or capital letters at the beginning of your sentences and also for names, proper nouns. Also, when you come to a word you don't know, sound out the unknown words, write the sounds you hear. And my favorite, reread each of my sentences. Make sure they make sense and that you didn't leave a word out, or make sure you didn't add words that you didn't need. All right, it's your turn. You're going to answer the question, what happened in the story? Write a retell. Green means go, start at the beginning. First, Half Chicken was special because why was Half Chicken special? So say your sentence and then write it. First, Half Chicken was special because, and once you've said your sentence, push pause and write your first green sentence, saying what happened at the beginning of the story. First, Half Chicken was special because, push pause, and when you're done writing your full sentence, push play to rejoin the lesson. Now we're going to slow down and go to the middle of the retell. Later, what did Half Chicken decide to do or go? Later, he decided to go to. Where did he decide to go to? Later, he decided to go to. After you say your sentence, later, he decided to go to. Then you push pause and write your full sentence. And when you're done, push play to rejoin the lesson. Now we're still in the middle of the story. Next, Half Chicken arrived at. Where did Half Chicken arrive? Next, Half Chicken arrived at. When you're done saying your sentence, push pause and write your sentence. Next, Half Chicken arrived at. Now we're at the end of our retell. We're going to talk about what happened at the finish line. Last, the water put out. How did the water help Half Chicken? Last, the water put out the. After you say your full sentence, push pause and write your sentence. Last, the water put out the. All right, now it's time to check your work using your writing checklist. Remember, check each of your 4 sentences. Make sure you have finger spaces between your words. Make sure you use ending punctuation and commas. Make sure you have uppercase letters or capital letters at the beginning of each of your 4 sentences. And also, if you write proper nouns or names of people or places. And then when you come to a word you don't know how to spell, I want you to sound out the unknown words or write the sounds you hear. And my favorite, make sure you reread each of your sentences. Make sure they make sense and make sure you have enough words, or if you've written too many words, take out the words that don't make sense. So this is a good time to push pause and check all your 4 sentences with the writing checklist. All right, at the top of your paper, I want you to reflect on your learning. How well did you hit our learning target? I can write a retell of the folktale Half Chicken using complete sentences. How do you think you did? Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I wrote 4 complete sentences and I used my writing checklist. Or would you give yourself a 3? I could help others with this. I wrote 3 to 4 complete sentences and I used my writing checklist. Or would you give yourself a 2? I needed some help with this. I wrote 2 complete sentences and I sometimes use my writing checklist. Or would you give yourself a 1? I needed a lot of help with this. I wrote 1 sentence and I did not use my writing checklist. So write your reflection. How do you think you did? 4, I could teach this lesson. 3, I could help others with this lesson. 2, I needed some help with this. Or 1, I needed a lot of help with this. All right, now you can check your work with my example. What happened in the story? Write a retell. Green means go. Start at the beginning. First, Half Chicken was special because he only had one wing, leg, and eye. News about him spread swiftly. Now we're going to slow down, talk about what happened in the middle of the story. Later, he decided to go to Mexico City. On his way, he unblocked the stream, fanned the fire, and freed the wind. Now we're still going to slow down and talk about what happened in the middle. Next, Half Chicken arrived at the palace to see the viceroy. The guards tricked him and he ended up in a pot of water. Now we're going to stop and talk about what happened at the end. Last, the water put out the fire on the stove. Then the cook flung the chicken out the window. As he was tumbling in the air, the wind blew him to the safety of the rooftop. All right, boys and girls, thank you for riding with me and talking about the story or folktale, Half Chicken. Have a great day.